Listen, Donald Trump is old. With every rally that he holds, we get more and more evidence that he's facing some sort of cognitive decline. Last night, he held a rally in Pennsylvania as the oldest person to ever run for president in the history of the United States, and it showed. Throughout the rally, he made the same mistake multiple times, repeatedly, and never corrected himself. And some people are speculating that this could be a sign of cognitive decline. And I just want to highlight that if President Biden did this exact same thing, the media would crucify him. They would never let it go. But when Donald Trump does it, they just forget it. They don't care. They don't mention it. But not on this channel. We make sure to call Donald Trump out and hold him accountable. Make sure you leave a like on this video if you appreciate what I do. Before we dig into this clip, let's read this article that says, critics question mental fitness after Trump makes key mistake twice at Pennsylvania rally. The former president's latest boast quickly backfired. And the article reads, Donald Trump on Wednesday boasted that he can speak for 2 hours, quote, without a mistake, then twice botched the office that one of the candidates he has endorsed is seeking. And this clip is one of the funniest things I have seen all day, but the only funnier thing is the reactions of the people that are roasting him on Twitter. We'll break it all down. Speaking at a rally in Pennsylvania, the former president referred to David McCormick as, quote, your next governor. He did it again about 15 minutes later, calling McCormick, quote, Mr. Governor, Mr. Future Governor. McCormick is running for a U.S. Senate seat, not governor. About an hour into the speech, Trump finally named the office McCormick is seeking, calling him, quote, the next U.S. Senator for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I just want to say that if this happened in a vacuum, if this was the only time, then it wouldn't be a big deal, but this is a long-standing pattern of Donald Trump switching names, switching roles, switching countries, switching leaders of countries. He has no clue what he's talking about, and that is amplified by his old age. I don't want it to come across as me being ageist at all. It is fine if you are in your 80s. There are many, many sharp people, and that is fine, but Donald Trump is already just not smart, and that is only amplified by his old age. Trump has previously attacked President Joe Biden over similar gaffes, claiming verbal slip-ups were evidence of cognitive problems and challenging him to take a cognitive test. Now, people on Twitter were quick to roast Trump. We'll cover that, but first, let's watch the clip.
What? They're almost as tough as our congressman sitting in the front. They're almost as tough as the man that's going to be your next governor, by the way. He's tough, too. He's tough. He's a great military hero. And he'll come up. I'm allowed to have him up for a little while, right? Just a couple of minutes, right? He's great. He's great.
Anytime Donald Trump goes off the teleprompter, it is a disaster, but maybe Donald Trump doesn't even know the difference between a senator and a governor in the first place. Dan Pfeiffer from Pod Save America said, raises some concerns about Trump's fitness and his capacity to serve another 4 years as president. And some people are saying this jokingly to try to get back at Republicans for saying it about Biden, but this is absolutely true. Donald Trump would be president into his early 80s. 4 more years of a presidency would do a lot of damage on a 78-year-old Donald Trump, and an 82-year-old Donald Trump will definitely have lost his mind even further. I mean, he's already showing signs. That is why we should vote for young VP Harris. Mehdi Hassan said, will we see weeks of coverage now from the mainstream press about Trump's mental health issues, his cognitive decline, his memory problems, his age, ? Hermant Mehta said, earlier today, he said he would, quote, love to take a cognitive test. Donald Trump has multiple times gloated about how he would pass a cognitive test with flying colors, better than anybody else could pass a cognitive test, but he won't actually take it, and he won't actually debate VP Harris. Josh Richmond said, if Biden had said it, it'd be a front page news tomorrow. And it's cliche, but that's what I was saying earlier. It's totally true. David Corn said, what's wrong with Trump? Is he too old? In cognitive decline? ? Ron Filipkowski said, senile, dementia, Trump. And while all of this is happening, while Donald Trump is being mocked for his constant slip-ups, this article reads, Kamala Harris takes lead over Trump in betting odds for the first time. Platform Predicted has bets on Harris presidency at 54 cents, while Trump bets are at 50 cents. We can actually go to the website Predicted and see that Kamala Harris has increased by a cent over the past day. So is Donald Trump, so is RFK Jr., but he's only at 2 cents. He has a he has zero chance, essentially. Donald Trump is at 50 cents. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is at 54 cents. And I know it adds up to more than 100. That is just how betting markets are sometimes. This article reads, a major betting betting platform shows Kamala Harris in the lead over Donald Trump for the first time since the VP announced she'd thrown her hat in the 2024 presidential race. Bets placed for Harris becoming the next U.S. president first overtook Trump bets on Wednesday afternoon on the platform predicted. The current price of a Harris bet via the platform is 54 cents, while a bet for Trump costs 50 cents as of Thursday morning. Amazing. Meanwhile, JD Vance is giving an awkward rally and pretending that VP Harris is president. Watch.
Believe until you see it with your own eyes just how bad the policies of the Kamala Harris administration have been when it comes to the southern border. They started their administration. Kamala Harris came into office making promises, and she kept those promises to open the American southern border.
Is he cognitively declining too? He said Kamala Harris came into office. The Kamala Harris administration, they are trying so hard to rebrand everything the Biden administration has done as something that VP Harris has unilaterally chosen to do and controlled Biden, forced him to do. But even if they want to go down that route, that's fine. I mean, the Biden administration has passed historic legislation when it comes to climate change, when it comes to education reform, gun reform. We can go down the list. They are better than Donald Trump on everything. So if you want to pin Biden's legislative accomplishments to VP Harris, go ahead and try. JD Vance looks incredibly awkward during this rally. He sounds incredibly awkward. Everything about him is fake and is manufactured to be a MAGA sycophant, a Trump light. But it's really funny watching Donald Trump, JD Vance, and all of the MAGA politicians and pundits try to find their footing, find ways to effectively attack VP Harris without being racist or sexist. Because in this clip, he is just using a totally phony attack by claiming that VP Harris is running this entire administration. In other clips yesterday, Donald Trump is just being straight up racist by saying that VP Harris is faking being black, or that she turned black, or that she's not actually black. Whatever he was saying, he said it in multiple different ways. In any way he said it, it was disgusting. So they are all just panicking, struggling to find a way to attack her, and they're trying to use her record too, but she's not quite the radical liberal they paint her as, and she also wasn't the terrible DA that they paint her as either. So they're having trouble keeping up with these narratives, and honestly, it's kind of fun to watch. It's been insane to watch the momentum of this campaign shift, and I do want to point out it could shift again, so don't get too cocky, don't get too complacent, because we saw what happened when Donald Trump got cocky. He picked JD Vance, he doubled down on the whole MAGA movement because his son's got in his ears, and then his cockiness led to his downfall thus far. He is now panicking, he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off trying to figure out if he should replace JD Vance or not. He most likely legally cannot do that, so he is stuck with his cocky pick, and his campaign is slowly plummeting in the polls. But with that all being said, in about 50% of the realities, Donald Trump wins according to most models. We should get that down to 10%. VP Harris should have a 90% chance of beating the wannabe dictator in our beautiful democratic country. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, comment a blue heart, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bells on, join the Mockler subreddit and Discord in the description below, but most importantly, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.